Hello and welcome to the first episode of Footy Tales, a podcast series from Football Monk. I'm your host Debojyoti, and today I'll be joined by Prachopujata Sarkar, an old dear friend of mine who now works at Khel Now as a reporter. So welcome Pracho to the first episode of Footy Tales.
Hi man, how are you doing?
Yes, I'm fine. So in this series, we will be discussing about the happenings in and around the Indian football circuit. Starting off with FC Goa's brilliant run in the AFC Champions League so far. So, Pracho, what is your take on the Champions League run by FC Goa till now?
It has been exceptional for FC Goa. Starting from the first match, being unbeatable for the first two matches, then scoring their first goal against the Asian Giants Persepolis, and losing the game, but with a very narrow margin. So it has been fantastic for them. And credit to the whole team and specifically to the coach Juan Fernando. He has transformed the team into such a great level. First time any Indian club is playing in the ACL, and this kind of performance is exceptional.
Yes, obviously their performances has been inspiring if we say the least, and they have also come closer to winning in the first two matches. If we consider the chances like the penalty decision which was turned against them, and also Brandon Fernandes hitting the post. If suppose football is not a game of ifs and buts, but if that has gone in, so the fate for FC Goa could have been different in the league, in the group stages.
Yeah, definitely. It would have been a great start. It would have been a better start. Brendan Fernandes has created a lot of chances in the three matches, and it was a bit unlucky for him for the ball to hit the wood mark. But the thing is that it happens in the football. But the positives from this that we should look after is the attacking setup or the attacking mentality that FC Goa is carrying with them. We have seen earlier that whenever the national team or the club teams have faced an Asian team or the Asian Giants or the major Asian clubs, they always prefer to defend, and they just keep.
FC Goa has also been relying a lot on their Indian nationals, and players like Dheeraj Glenn has been putting up a show in the moment. Also, their wing backs like Xavier Gama and others.
Yeah, definitely. But the most important thing is that they have been brave enough to act offensively. They are not the team that only defends with the ball. Rather, they have created problems for the opponents, and that is the main reason they are doing so much well. And as you told, the Indian nationals, which came through the ranks of FC Goa Reserve or through the I-Leagues, are doing terrific. Have come up with a very good performance.
And if we focus on somebody, it should be Dheeraj Singh, who has been phenomenal to say the least.
Yeah, Dheeraj Singh has been doing a fantastic job. He is one of the reasons FC Goa is so much strong at the back. He is leading the team from the back. He is one of a kind who can communicate well with his defenders. He places his man in the set pieces pretty well. Apart from Dheeraj Singh, Glenn Martins is another player who is doing a terrific job. He missed a penalty in the semi-finals, but from that point and to today's from the last day's performance, it has been a great transformation for Glenn Martins.
Yes, and focusing on their upcoming games, how do you see FC Goa doing against Persepolis, whom they face tomorrow?
So basically, Persepolis is one of the powerhouses. They are one of the best teams. They have won the ACL. They have been runners-up in the ACL, and facing Persepolis with so much of confidence, scoring the first goal against Persepolis, it has given a lot of momentum to the team and a lot of confidence. So I think this match, that is facing Persepolis consecutively, will be advantageous for FC Goa, and they will like to start with the same momentum at which they ended the last match.
But they will be missing the skipper, Edu Bedia, who will be out due to both suspension and injury. Although the injury wasn't a serious one and he will be back, but 2 yellow cards and he will miss the next game. So how big a loss will be that for FC Goa?
Edu Bedia is a big loss. Edu Bedia is a big loss because he's the guy who did excellent in the last match. He scored the goal. He was perfect in everything, passing accuracy, distributing the ball. So it will be a bit of harsh or a bit of bad news for the FC Goa team, but I am confident in Juan Fernando's tactics. He doesn't depend on a single man in the team. He must have an option, and we will see someone coming up through the benches and do well, because in football, as we say, whenever there is a man down, it's a chance for another man to come off the bench and show his potential. And with the depth, with the kind of depth that FC Goa have in the squad, it's going to be not a big problem for them.
Okay, and now shifting our focus to the transfer market, a lot of things has been happening in around the clubs, especially with the contract extensions and rumors. So would you like to share something with us?
Yeah, definitely the market has been pretty well this time, though not at the busiest stage at this moment of time. The latest news that is coming up is Jerry has extended his stay with Odisha. He has been a crucial player for Odisha FC last season, and though he had a lot of offers this time from the other ISL clubs, he preferred to show his loyalty for Odisha FC. And from Odisha FC's point of view, it is good to start shaping up the team and retaining one of their key players. And on the other side, if we look onto the Kolkata sides, Mohun Bagan, ATK Mohun Bagan has done a good job so far. They have started bagging in Listen Kolaso in a big transfer from Hyderabad FC. And from the latest update, Ashutosh Mehta is the one they are trying to get him in. He has been a major player for Mohun Bagan's second I-League campaign. And he had a terrific season in Northeast United under Khalid Jamil. And as per my sources and the development confirms, Ashutosh will be joining ATK Mohun Bagan in a 3-year deal. It's a major overhaul or a major support in the defense.
Obviously, and we are also hearing that Vipin Singh has signed a contract extension up to 2025, keeping him with the ISL champions for a long time. So what do you have to say on that?
Yeah, Mumbai became the champions of the league. They became the champions. They became the table toppers. And Vipin Singh was one of the reasons behind this success. And Sergio Lobera is the boss man in retaining his key players. And Mumbai, along with Lobera, has done the perfect job this time. Vipin has been prolific, but he has more to provide to the team. And I expect that he will be more lethal and will be doing much more wonder things this season. So a good deal from both Mumbai and Vipin's aspect, and it will be beneficial for the Indian team as well.
Okay, now shifting our focus to the I-League, Vidyasagar Singh, who has been phenomenal in the I-League and also the winner of the Golden Boot, has many offers from ISL clubs, and it is being heard that he is inching closer to a move to Odisha FC. So, can you speak on that?
Vidyasagar Singh is the top scorer in the league, and it has been a trend for the last few years that the ISL teams target the top scorer of I-League. And Vidyasagar is not an exception to this. But what Vidyasagar has done exceptionally well this time he has scored a lot of goals. And one more thing that I think is going to be exceptional is his choice for the club. He is definitely coming to the ISL, but he has offers from Mumbai, he had offers from FC Goa. But this guy made a smart choice along with his manager. They have opted for Odisha FC. And if all goes well, we will find Vidyasagar landing at Odisha FC for around 3 years. Considering the offensive woes that Odisha FC had last season, specifically in their indigenous strikers, Vidyasagar is a great addition to them and is expected to do pretty well. And I think they have provided him with a very good project with a combination of perfect game time and perfect salary. And it will be good and beneficial for Vidyasagar Singh, because he is one of the key players, one of the prolific strikers that has come over the years and is expected to wear the blue jersey very soon. So getting a lot of game time will enhance that process.
Okay, coming back to game time and also to ATK Mohun Bagan, Komal Thattal has been up in the news pretty much this week, and he has been rumored to join Jamshedpur FC. So, what is your take on that?
Till this moment, nothing is confirmed, but for sure, Komal Thattal is looking for options, and he will depart ATK Mohun Bagan. As you know, Komal Thattal is one of the best players, best players from the under-17 squad that played the under-17 World Cup. But for the last 2 or 3 years, it has been not so good for this kid. He has played very mere matches. He has not done pretty well. But for a player like him, it's the game time that's most important, as you told earlier. So he needed to make a change, and ATKMB has agreed mutual terms with him and has decided to let him go out to another club. And definitely Jamshedpur FC is the most preferable destination for Komal Thattal. Let's see how it happens, and it will be a good opportunity for him, because for a team which has Owen Cole as the head coach, it's a paradise for the young players to come up and show their skills and develop themselves.
Speaking about game time, Komal Thattal received only 73 minutes of game time in the last 2 seasons, which is devastating for a player of his quality.
Yeah, definitely, because if you think about the Indian national team, Komal Thattal should have been one of the key players to feature there, right? Because he's experienced in the Under-17 World Cup, in the other tours. But if a player doesn't grab a lot of game time in the season, featuring in his club's team, then it becomes tough for a player to get into the national team. So it's high time, and he also understood that he needs to make some changes in his career opportunities, and he did it pretty well. And if all goes well, Jamshedpur will be the destination for this guy.
Yes, now let's shift our focus to the upcoming games. FC Goa, as we have spoken earlier, continues their journey in the AFC Champions League. We also have the AFC Cup coming up, where ATK Mohun Bagan will be taking on Mazia. But before that, we have Bengaluru FC, who has to go through the qualifiers. But unfortunately, their opposition, who would have been decided by another qualifier, the match has been postponed, and Bengaluru FC is now sitting idle because they don't know whom to face. So coronavirus has continue.
Yeah, it's a harsh condition for Bengaluru FC, because you don't know who your opponent will be, and the more late you get into the group stage, the less at the time you get for the bigger stage. Bengaluru had a good start after a very cagey and very frustrating season in the ISL. They have started well in the AFC Cup and is expected to do well. So, as you told, that the delay is a bit of harsh for them, but it will not harm them, because they are after all professional players and they know how to deal with this kind of situation. So it will be good for them. And coming back to the point of ATK Mohun Bagan, I think FC Goa's success in the ACL will be something that will add a lot of confidence to ATK Mohun Bagan's preparation ahead of the AFC Cup, because they have seen that these players can do such a good thing in this ACL stage. Then definitely a team like ATK Mohun Bagan, who has a lot of experience, a lot of options in every position, will try to have an upper hand in the AFC.
Yes, and also the fact that ATK Mohun Bagan is sitting directly in the group stages is also a factor of motivation. But the fourth member of the group would have been decided by the qualifier, the same qualifier we talked a few seconds ago, and they also don't know which opposition they might be facing. So it's a tough situation for them as well. But yeah, on a positive note, players have started arriving to Kolkata, and I think ATK Mohun Bagan will be grouping up well before the competition begins.
Yeah, they are expected to start their campaign from 25th of this month, and will be under a complete biobubble structure, where the players will be examined after every 4 days. So it's a bit of unnatural or a new system that the players have to follow. but they are already they have already adapted to the situation for the last 6 months when they were in the ISL. So will not be a cause of concern for them. Rather, it will be the playing aspect or the playing mentality or the tactical aspect which is more important for Havas to come up with, because if you see the last matches that ATK have played in the ISL has not been pretty much positive for them, right? So they need to make some changes in their tactics, and I'm sure that they will do that and will have a good performance in the Asian stages.
Okay, thank you, Pratu, for joining in. I believe that was enough for the day. Thank you others for listening to our first episode. Second episode will be aired soon. This Pooty Tales series will be a podcast series from Football Monk, and we will try to continue it on a weekly basis. Thank you, Pratu, for joining in.
Thank you.